Hi guys! So today I wanted to have a go at creating an oil painting kind of look. I've already done a watercolour makeup on this channel and it's definitely one of my favourite videos I've ever done, so I thought it would be fun to try another medium as well. And I thought a lot of people would have done this because it seems really easy, right? It's just controlled mess. But let me tell you a secret. This is actually the second time I've tried this look because the first one I did was an absolute nightmare. So I've already started with a flat colour all over just to even out my skin tone, and this is just my regular BB cream. You can just use your regular foundation or whatever you usually use. Then I'm applying a light coloured grease paint to the high points of my face, my neck and my shoulders. This is going to be your highlight shade, so you can just adjust it to work for your skin tone. If you have a deeper skin tone than me, then of course just use a deeper one. Kind of just go for what kind of highlight you would usually use anyway. You know, people usually go like a couple of shades lighter for the high points of the face. Just do that kind of thing, but with paint instead. Next, I'm taking a light brown and I'm complementing those highlights with some shadows. Now, the first time I tried this look, I started off with the darkest shade first, around the edges of the face. Don't do that, you just end up with a massive mess that you can't fix. It's not a good kind of mess like we're hoping for. So just start with the light and then add the darker shades in. You want to try keep these brush strokes as obvious as possible. I used grease paint for this look, which I think made getting these brush strokes a lot more difficult than it actually needed to be. Grease paints tend to blend together very easily, so when you're wanting to get really rough brush strokes, it might not be the best product to use because as you wear it as well, it kind of just merges together and looks very smooth. So those water-based cake makeups, you know, the ones that kind of dry and set, might be a better option. You know, like the Snazaroo face paints, that kind of thing. Next, I'm going back in with that cream shade and I'm just going to keep doing this the whole way through, so I won't bring attention to it every time. This whole look is just messing around and fixing up areas and adding layers until you're happy with it, really. Don't be afraid to just layer paints on top of each other. That's going to kind of add to the look, so just mess around with it, have fun with it. Next, I'm going in with a dark brown shade, but in a smaller area than the brown that I applied before. So if you think of the light brown I just applied as a bronzer, you'd want to think of this one as a contour. So I'm just going in places that I would usually contour, so underneath my cheekbones, nose, under the lip. I also started to introduce some whites into my highlights as well from now on. Moving on to the cheeks, I'm using this absolutely beautiful pink shade, which is actually what I've been using as my blush in day-to-day life recently, just in a much neater way and definitely less of it. When I first applied this, I was like, oh my god, I've ruined the whole look. But I think the pink cheeks actually ended up being one of my favourite parts of this look. For the brows, I only used two shades. I first applied a brown and then I applied a black, just to break it up a bit. You want to keep these messy, and I know it goes against everything in your makeup loving nature to deliberately mess up your brow tails, but just do it. I believe in you. It hurt me as well. You can do it. So I made a start on the eyeliner, and then I realised that the lids looked kind of meh. There wasn't enough going on and they needed a highlight, so I went ahead and added some white on there. Again, very messily. For the liner, I did actually use a liner instead of a grease paint. This is the Tarte Clay Pot, just because I know that grease paint is going to transfer to my upper lid and the second I look forward. So as much as we want it to be messy, we want that mess to be nice and controlled and deliberate. And transferred black paint on the upper lid just wouldn't make sense for the look. Next, I lined my upper and lower waterline with a black pencil, and then I went back to that gel and took that underneath the eye as well, and drew in some little bottom lashes. After adding all of that black around the eyes, I still felt like the lids needed a bit more going on. So I added some more dark brown just around the edges, just to give that lid the illusion of having more shape and depth. For the upper lashes, I used the tip of a mascara wand just to really pile on that product so that the lashes would clump together, and I'd ideally end up with like 5 lashes. So to finish off the look, I wanted to add red lips. I used a liquid lipstick as a base, and then I used a bit of dark red and a bit of brown around the edges, just to add definition and shape, and to make the lines a bit more wobbly. Then finally, I added a couple of white highlights. So if you're actually going to be wearing this for more than 5 minutes, you probably want to use something which is designed to be on the lips. Just because if you use grease paint, it's going to move around. I don't really recommend using grease paint for this anyway, because it's a nightmare, and again with the whole brush strokes thing. And if you use a water-based paint, obviously that's going to break up on your mouth because your mouth is wet. But then that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you tweet me or tag me on Instagram if you try it. I don't know why you would, really, but if you like doing makeup, then I encourage you to try it, because it was a lot of fun. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.